Hey everyone, it's Logan again. Today we're going to be talking about the different types of rods and the scenarios in which they're good to use for. So first rod to start off with is a spinning rod. These are pretty common rods. Most people use them. They're good for freshwater, good for mainly smaller fish, but you can catch bigger fish on them. I pretty much primarily use a spinning rod like all the fucking time, so I caught muskie on it before. I've caught catfish, walleye, all that. But yeah, that's the first rod. Second one is a casting rod. They're usually good for heavier lures. They're good for more precise aiming when you're casting out. Pretty good for like a shoreline, you know, when there's like maybe heavier debris in the water, like rocks, seaweed, whatever that may be. Sometimes people fucking throw benches in the water, and I've gotten caught on benches before. It's not fun. It's a pain in the ass to get that unstuck. Then we have a fly rod. Hopefully you guys can see this. My handwriting is not the greatest, as you can tell, but you know, it's whatever. They're good for light and panfish. People use like these little things called flies to cast with, and they're like, how do you describe them? They're kind of like stringy in a way. Like, kind of look like bugs a little bit, and I think they usually sit on the top of the water. I could be wrong about that. They might sink, but that's usually what a fly rod does. Trolling rod. These are the guys, if you ever watch, like, if you ever by the water and you're watching people on boats and they're just kind of going across the water with their rod sticking out and they're just sitting there. That's trolling. That's what trolling is. They're heavier rods. Basically, their main goal with those rods is to catch like pike, muskie, stuff like that. Just to clarify, I live by Lake Michigan, so a lot of this is going to be mostly about freshwater. I'm not too familiar with saltwater fishing, but I'll try my best in later videos to kind of give you an idea what that's like, but never done it before, so, you know. You have a surf rod. These are good for, sorry about the lighting. These are good for like casting from shore as well. They're usually a little bit heavier duty, long distance, you know, heavier fish. Then we got ice rod. These are little tiny suckers that people use. They will cut a hole in the water, and you see the shacks on the ice. And basically these rods, they're tiny, right? Usually lighter line, lighter lures, stuff like that. And you know, you can catch big fish on it. It's just pretty fucking hard to do. So, you know. Okay, so those are like the 6 main rods. I'm sure there's more that I could go over, but these are the 6 main rods that people use, or types of rods. Primarily, you probably should worry about spinning rods. Those are what pretty much everybody uses, and they're good for, you know, just basic fishing off of shore in like a lake or, you know, a river. That's what I do. I fish all the river. And here we're going into the weights. So first one, UL, ultralight. These are smaller rods, typically smaller weights. Like they're usually like 2 to 4 pounds, pretty tiny, but they're flexible. So what that means is that when you're fighting a fish, the rod will go down, right, and you'll see it go bling, you know, like almost like it's gonna break, but it's not, because that's what flexible means. Duh, you know. Tiny lures, obviously, good for like pan fishing. You can catch heavy fish. I've caught a fat ass carp, like it was like, I think like 36 inches, pretty fat too, on an ultralight. That's fun. That's really fun when you catch a big ass fish on an ultralight. Then we have light poles, a little bit heavier. A lot of this is self-explanatory when it comes to weight, but I'm still going to go over it. A little bit light, a little bit heavier than ultralight. I think they're typically like 4 to 6 pounds, somewhere around there. Still, you're looking at generally casting after, or going after smaller fish with that. Then we have medium light, and as you can see, there's a little graph here. My go-tos. I use a medium light. I love the medium light because it's good for heavier fish, but it's also really flexible and there's more action to it. What that means, like I said, with the ultralights and the lights, you have more action, so it's just harder to generally fight bigger fish with it. And I like that. I love the fight. I love the thrill of it. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Kind of, not really, but you know. And then we have a medium. This is probably the most balanced pole you're going to be looking at. I recommend for beginners, get a medium and go from there. First pole, get a medium. That's what Kyle taught me. And if Kyle, you're watching this, shout out to you. I started with a medium. I like it, but once I started using a medium light, it was more preferable for me. So really, it just comes down to preference and what you're aiming to catch. We have a medium heavy, a little bit stronger. I never used one. I thought about getting one. They're good for bigger fish, you know, like catfish, stuff like that. You're looking at less action, obviously, because it's going to be generally just easier to catch the fish and get it in. This heavy is usually good for shore fishing. If you're catching like big ass tuna fish, I've seen a little story for you guys. I've seen I met a guy from Boston who was here for like a hockey game or something, and it was like a family. It was like a grandpa, the dad, and the son, right? And he showed me like these pictures of this big ass tuna. It's nearly as big as their fucking boat, and it takes like 4 hours to fucking get in. It's crazy what these guys will do, but one day I'll do that. We have extra heavy, you know, obviously probably for the big fish, those guys are probably using an extra heavy, or maybe a casting reel, or even a surf rod, you know. It's like I said with the casting and surf rods, kind of think of it like the long shot from Legend of Zelda, you know, if you're trying to aim farther out, you know, you get the hook shot. That's like your spinning reel, or your like fly rod. That's like the base hook shot. Then you get to the water temple, and then it's kind of funny because we're talking about fishing, but you get to the water temple, you get the long shot, and you're looking at surf and casting, right? Or even trolling, but you know, they just kind of just with trolling, they just drag the lure in the water, and they just have like pike or muskie go after it. People troll for walleye as well, so I think they can use a little bit lighter poles for that. But usually they use heavy poles because they just want to get the fish in, you know. I don't see the fun in it. I can see why people do it, but me, I just love the action of it. I love doing just the fight, the thrill, you know. And yeah, that's pretty much it for when it comes to poles. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to comment. I'll try to answer as best as I can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys later.